I know it's Christmas, and Merry Christmas to all. And I hope everybody had a good day of feasting and such. I was just in contact with a friend of mine, Doc, and apparently he was once again talking about the flux capacitor, and apparently the Smithsonian has it now in their basement. So he told me he's jerry-rigged a smaller one that can do some travel. He's got a jerry-rig to my, I don't have a DeLorean, so I got a 2002 Buick LeSabre. So he's going to put the new, slightly smaller flux capacitor on the Buick LeSabre. We're going back. We're going back into the future. No, we're going back in time. To where exactly? December 25th to 26th of 2019. I have to let the people know what's gonna happen. So, bear with me. Hopefully I'll make it out the other end and I'll be back a year past making this video. See what happens. Doc's ready. I'm ready. Sullivan's ready. Sullivan's coming with us. Sullivan's my cat. He's coming with us. And, yeah, I know that old Buick can get hit 88 miles an hour. So here we come, 2019. Well, here I am in the car. 2002 LeSabre, equipped with a flux capacitor. Sullivan declined to join me, and so did Doc. So this is a solo mission, but I can do it. I can go back and warn people about what they're going to see in 2020. Please, people of 2019, don't think I'm nuts. Please. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. I think we're here. Okay. We made it. We made the trip. We went back. It's 2019. Apparently, 2019. It's in black and white, so I don't know. Also, my hair's wet, so I don't know what that kind of what goes on when you do that time travel stuff. Don't know. Never did it before, but here I am. The reason that I'm here is I need to tell the people of what is to transpire, because it is quite astounding. Okay, now, during 2020, we've had many iconic losses in the music, sports, movies. That's irrelevant. That's inevitability of time and age. So, as monumental as it was for the arts, it is what it is. But what I'm here to talk about is the daily life of the average American, which does vary from state to state. Okay, so in January, economy was booming. January of 2020 is booming. And Trump had a historic agreement with China to renegotiate trade deals in favor of the United States, just so we weren't being taken advantage of. Okay? You know, you can think how you want about Trump. It is what it is. He was trying to do his job, as hampered as he was. Then something happened. There was a talk of a virus out of Wuhan, China, that was striking down people in the street. People were being sealed up in their homes. It was spreading like wildfire throughout the provinces of China. So, Trump decided to shut down all air flights coming in and out of China, which he was critically bombasted for as being a xenophobe racist against Chinese, which I guess, people can have their opinions. But it kept going. The World Health Organization got involved, said it was not a problem. People were told to go about their business. No precautions necessary. It's a flu. And then all of a sudden, it was declared a pandemic in March of 2020. Then they started to talk more strategically. Now, mind you, all kinds of information came out about certain important people in the world, and importance being they're wealthy. Main being a man named Billy Goats, William Gates, however you want to pronounce it. He actually did a Watergate on the scenario a month ago, back in November, last month, this year, 2019. Last month, he did a war game of almost this exact scenario of what would happen. There would be other things that would come out also, too. But, hey, maybe gifted foresight, maybe somewhat of a Nostradamus, I don't know. But anyway, they suggested that we lock down the entire economy for 2 weeks to flatten the curve, which they did. There was no trade. The shipping stopped. There were, people getting sick and dying, predominantly in nursing homes. New York was heavy hit, as some of the other major cities. But then they closed all the businesses. They were forced to extend 30 to 40, maybe even higher, 60 million Americans were immediately laid off from their jobs because they were deemed non-essential. They were already tagged with a label as they were not important. Millions and millions of people were deemed non-important. Odd, peculiar wordage, but this is true. It's true, this is what happened. So that turned into a few months. Certain states did not adhere to it, as following what the Constitution says, the states will make up their own decisions to govern their people. That's why they have a governor. This does not sit well, so it went from 2 weeks to 3 months. And then there was... The 3 months kept going. And then we had an incident in May that sparked riots throughout all the major cities in New York, predominantly on the West Coast, East Coast, Chicago, where a gentleman by the name of Floyd was, you were led to believe, executed by the hands of the police, where his treatment was egregious, but he was actually an unsavory character, which has nothing to do with his death. But you need to put things in context that he was not a saint either. And it was later came out that he did die of a heart attack because he ingested massive amounts of fentanyl. Needless to say, they burnt down a police station in Minneapolis. Riots erupted. A whole city in Wisconsin was devastated, probably never to return. This happened, and then they started to pull down statues. There was a group of people dressed in black. They were called Antifa. People say they were, I don't know. But there was just rioting and turmoil throughout the United States. But they were not affected by the virus. The only ones that were infected by the virus were those who wished to open their businesses, which they were not allowed to. And as when I went back in December of 2020 to today, which I'm not even sure what day it is, it could be the 27th or 26th. You get a little mixed up with time travel. But anyway, it still hasn't ended. There's second waves, there's mutations. We're testing a lot more, but more people are coming up positive. But apparently, you can come up positive with anything. If you had the cold, the flu, you could die of COVID if you were in a car accident. It's very convoluted. It's very confusing. You have to wear a mask in the majority of states wherever you go, into most businesses, because of reasons. I don't know what a mask does. It's a piece of cloth. But this is what they want you to do. The election will happen. There will be the greatest voter turnout of all time. Sometime in even some counties, the turnout will be 20% higher than the population of registered voters. So the new president is Joe Biden, a man who's been in politics for 47 years and has done absolutely nothing. But he was so popular that he got more votes than Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Obama, Clinton, you name it. He got 83 million votes. A man who was physically sick, mentally deteriorated, and not very smart. So that's our president. Vice president, doesn't matter. Kamala Harris has got a very low approval rating, but once again, who knows? It's 2020. So what happened was, it was later found out there's plenty of evidence that the election was rigged and stolen. But what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? It's completely sullied the American public about elections. So our election process is out the window. Our representation process is out the window. The criminal element within the government, federal, local, city, and state, is so blazing and ingrained, I don't think it could ever return to normal. We keep having additional closures in different countries, pandemics worldwide. England shut down, they canceled Christmas. They said there was going to be a massive curve uptake during Thanksgiving. There was none. You can't go to concerts anymore. You can't, the movie theaters are shuttered. You're supposed to watch them on TV. You can't eat in a restaurant. You can in New York, but they kind of stopped that. You could eat in a restaurant as long as you ate outside, inside. They built outside temporary structures because COVID lives in the restaurant. So you can't eat in there, but you can go outside into an inside building and eat. I know, it's a lunacy. It's a lunacy. What I'm telling you, it's a lunacy. People have lost their minds. And here we are. But I'm saying these things. Do I sound like a conspiracy lunatic? Do I sound that crazy? Because I think I do. It almost sounds like a dystopian science fiction or some sort of global takeover. People have lost their jobs. There's talk about UBI, Universal Basic Income. There's never-ending unemployment. They just gave us a second stimulus check where they gave each tax-paying American $600. Don't know what they'll do with that. $600. But they did give themselves a $50,000 a year raise in the House of Representatives. And they also gave $15 million to Pakistan for gender studies and so on, and $500 million to Israel, and Kennedy said they got $100 million. People not so much, but it's a stimulus package. Stimulate what? Museums? You can't go to them. But they need to stimulate. They need to be stimulized. So it's just a warning of, I don't know, I'm trying to let you know what's gonna happen in 2020. As crazy as it may sound, it's crazy, right? That the entire country would be cut down. The greatest economy that we ever had, the lowest unemployment, will be derailed. And who benefits? The richest people in the world. Media is completely useless. It's completely been propagandized on a level that hasn't been seen since Soviet Russia. Now, where this virus originated in China, completely non-existent. They're open, They're having a good time. They're having raves. They're going to massive pool parties. But the only places that are affected are the Western cultures of Europe and the United States, somewhat South America, Canada. They're talking about internment camps. They're talking about you're going to have to roll up your sleeve and take a mandatory vaccination. Because they said so. Even though they've never actually isolated this so-called virus, which has already mutated in Europe to a different name, to an N051Y. Don't know what that is. I don't know where they came up with that number. Kind of got where they got the COVID number, but it's actually it was called SARS-2 coronavirus. Then they switched it to COVID-19. Everything is convoluted, change. ISIS became ISIL, and then it became Daesh. Same thing, they just changed the words around to keep you on edge. They got everybody divided. They got everybody divided about a presidency, which has little effect on our lives. They have it divided about whether you should wear a piece of cloth over your face or not. If you don't, you're pointed at, and you're sometimes approached, sometimes attacked. It's very rare, but you definitely are approached and yelled at and mocked and publicly shamed. You don't have a piece of cloth on your face. How dystopian is this? How loony do I sound? I'm telling you right now, it's 2019. You got a whole year to stop this. But I think it's set in stone. What's done is done. How crazy do I sound? How crazy do I sound? No movies, no concerts, no restaurants, no bars, no pubs. You can use DoorDash. McDonald's has thrived. Only drive-thrus, but they dropped their menu down. Gotta wear a face covering. Might have to roll it up your sleeve and take a vaccination on a virus they haven't even isolated. Don't even know what it is, but we want to stick you with something. So, with that, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Here's to you, here's to me, here's to old, here's to new. Let's see what happens. I warned you. Now I'm getting back in my Sabra with my flux capacitor, and I'm gonna head back to 2020 because that's where I belong. Just came here to warn you. Yeah, I know I'm crazy. You say I'm crazy. Say I'm a nut. But it is what it is. You'll find out sooner. I should have brought back the damn lottery numbers. At least I could have made my life better. See, didn't think.